Finally, I got most of that first page done, which is going to be kind of the boilerplate. But what I have to do is do decomposition, where I'm breaking all these elements down and making them into their own components, so I can just start stamping them and be more flexible. I just wanted to get everything into this page and just show that it is doable to transfer image artifacts that you would get like from creative and stuff like that into a website. And so this will be a custom website. I'm debating if I'm going to actually inject this. I saw Drupal React as a CMS because I'm looking at long-term support or something like that. So I might end up making this into a Drupal solution after I get everything run and customized and stuff like that, because you go against that the change factor. So the change factor is how often you get changes, how complicated those changes are, and how do you fit those changes and fit those changes into your design, and how do you get that quick turnaround. So what a good implementation will get you that good turnaround. So I'm thinking about making this kind of solid and attaching it maybe to Drupal or something like that. I can export this as a static website, like I said, put it on S3, and just to show this is an actual website, you know. And I kind of doctored some of these stuff up a little bit, doctored it up a bit, did some custom stuff with some of the things that are out of the box with Bootstrap. One thing I'm very proud of is I actually got this navigation bar to hover with the page, which that comes out of the box when you make that navigation bar and everything. But I was pretty proud of that. And so when I actually got the social media icons and stuff like that, I just got to get them hooked up to like social media. So the next page I will be doing is, first I'm going to get all the routing hooked up, do decomposition for these things right here, where I can just make new pages on the fly, and I'm just stamping in new components and stuff like that. So eventually, so this right here might be its own component, and what I do is just make it like a template where I fit where these different things would go and what text to be right here. So what I can do is make it where I do one tag, and then when I do that one tag, I can establish this, all the different elements, and establish where this link could go. I can even make it where I plug in the different images for this right here, make it where the name change, and that's that flexibility that I'm looking for. So right here where I can stamp this in here, and I can make name changes to this and just make it like a template, you know. So that's the type of person I am. I like to speed up my productivity over time. I don't like to just half-ass stuff and just leave it because it works. And that's the difference between a programmer and a software engineer. Now, software engineers, we think about these things. Programmers, they just go in, oh, it works, and just leave it. Don't think about security, don't think about vulnerabilities or anything and stuff like that. Software engineering and being an architect, system admin, stuff like that, is taking your skills to the next level. So that's one thing I like to practice, where I make sure that I do everything properly to the best of my knowledge, and I learn from other people as well. And so eventually what I want to do is do some decomposition for these items, get some CSS out of the way, get a good design pattern. Well, stick back to my design pattern, because right here I just wanted to get things on the page, and then what I do is I refine the way that I put those things on that page. I think it looks good for, you know, the design that I did. It don't look exactly, some elements don't look exactly like the design, because I thought that something like this would be better. So, and we call that scope creep, and that's what happens with most developers. They say, hey, this looks nice, this would be a nice feature, but if you're in the real world, stick to the plan. Okay, stick to the plan. I cannot stress that enough. Stick to the plan, and if you got an idea, let's talk about doing that idea later, unless your project manager or the business says, hey, let's add this feature in here, and then you do prioritization, and then you figure out how we're going to get it in there in a timeline. But right here, I even got the badges in here. These were custom. This right here is custom as well. These are custom components that I created. This right here is not so custom. This is out of the box, but I can make this custom as, if I want features added to these things, I can do that. And so I actually got my logo on here. I got the sign on in here. And it looks good so far. I tried to get this alignment right here. So if you notice, and this is a UIUX thing. So first, if you notice, this was kind of shifted over. And if you look at a website, just scroll through it and see where do your eyes shift. So see how can your eyes, like right there, your eyes kind of off shifted. So I'm have to figure out a better way to align this piece and align this piece. So which means that I might just have to kind of like move this over a bit. So if I take the position and move it over a bit, let's go like right here. Let's inspect this, and let's see where it is. So let's go about right here. Make the adjustments. So right here. So this is that row right here, and I can kind of shift this around a little bit. So if I go here and I say I want to go to the left, kind of shift it a little bit. See how it shifts in real time. And then I can scroll down to kind of see where it is. And see, that's why I tried to put it in the best place. I thought it would fit, maybe about something right there. And I can make those changes to that code as well. So if I go in and just take this right here for now, and get everything in place that I want to get in. So over here, I think it was that, was it the image cards? Let's see. So it was the, intro cards. So right here on those intro cards, maybe I do a readjustment or something like that. And I just try to see where my eyes go on this website, because I want this to be a finished product. I want this to be a product that somebody can actually use. And and they can benefit from it. I want it to be ready out of the box. So let's see when it reloads. So right here. Now, because the reason why it's kind of loading a little slow is because when we go through optimization for the site, we're gonna have to cut these images to the exact size. I use some CSS to get the images to, to move them around and everything. But when you're trying to do performance over time, you can take these images and you can actually either compress those images or cache those images, depending on what server you're using. But here, what I usually do is I like to cut these images down and have different resolutions of these images. And so see, like same thing right here, I made some adjustments to this image where I didn't cut the image or anything like that. I just moved the position of the image and then cut the overflow off. And that's what I have for right now. And then I did this too. I had to do this. Powered by Tech did Mac. Okay. So so far I've gotten a lot of things that I wanted in here. And this was the hard part is just starting. And once I got in the groove of things, because I do multiple different languages, multiple different technologies. So imagine after I get done with work, I come here after writing in so many different other languages, scripting languages and everything, and I have to shift gears because now I'm in this front end mindset and I'm with a different framework, and then I got to follow references and documentation. I might put a video out there as to how do you try to follow documentation and best practices, because you're not expected to know how to use all of these things, but you're expected to research it and learn over time on how you use these things. See, I'm not using this. I used to use this every day when I worked, but not anymore. So how I keep the edge is I actually, this is what I do. So when I get bored, when my kids don't want nothing to do with me, I do stuff like this. I work on my craft, sharpen my craft, And then plus I teach too. So who wants a dumb instructor that doesn't know what they're doing? Okay, no one wants that. Okay, and I want my students to be able to get jobs. I want them to have self-fulfillment. I want them to have that upper edge when they're going to get their first job or something like that. I want them to take something that no one can ever take away from them, and that's that knowledge. So anyways, this is what I have right here, and that's some of the explanation of the techniques that I use and having that software engineer mindset, which is a good mindset. This is that mindset that I've had since I was young. How things work, what's the best way to implement those things, and not just get it to work. I want to be able to customize it. I want to be able to harness that power and shape it, kind of like a magician, you know. So I don't just like to take things and not know what I'm doing and just stamp it in there. I want to know how it works from start to finish. Like any products that I, administrate, all of that, start to finish, even developer roles. Even what the developers do, there's been times where I had to step in, and I'm an architect on the project, and I help out the developers, which is good. I didn't step on toes or nothing like that, but everything worked out, and people respect you for that, So yeah, so this is what I got. So my next step is I'm going to start to do refactoring, because this is what I mean right here. You'll see how sloppy this is right now. For one, the CSS out here might not have meaningful names from the stuff that I did and everything. And then if you go and look into these layouts, the problem is this is not reusable because it's refined to that one layout. So what I'm going to do is start taking out these components here. So see how you got these cards here? Those are those cards with the success badges on them and everything with the bootstrap. I'm actually going to take this and pull it out as a component. And I pass an array of the images, the titles, all that stuff. Pass an array of information to this, so that when I start hooking things up and I want to dynamically change things, or someone says, "Hey, I want the words on this part right here to say this," I don't have to go in and really change code. All I have to do is go in and change some of my static variables and redeploy or something like that. So yeah, that's the goal right now, is to refine a lot of this. See, like right here, you see how I repeat this? I can write this in a way where I don't have to repeat this. So I can do a for statement, and it does a for, and it loops through all of these different sources. And I give it an alt tag and everything. And what happens is this will turn from 4 or 5 lines of code to 1 line of code, which maybe just me calling everything in this column right here, and then I just pass in the social media icons and enough information to tell it what happens when I click on them, stuff like that. So that's one thing that you got to think about as well. And then you don't want someone to come in, like if somebody came in after me and looked at all of this, they would be like, "Oh my gosh, what is this crap? What is this crap that you're putting on my table?" So I want to make it where other developers can come in and they completely know what's going on with all of the workflow that's going on in here. And get down. It's my cat, Mr. Bigglesworth. Yes. And so that's pretty much what I've been working on, getting this up and running and everything. I want to deliver on this. I should set some dates to when I want to have most of this done to show off. And then remember, the next piece, we have like that back end piece, like the Node-RED piece. So you have 2 back ends, okay? You have the back end that goes with the React, okay? And if someone ever tells you that, this is just front end and not back end, that is not true. To me, if you're writing JavaScript, that is sort of kind of like back end. And then when you get to like TypeScript and stuff like that, that's writing back end code. Anything else that's front end or anything like that might be like what we're doing right here, that presentation layer. So, but yeah, so eventually everybody's going to be front end and back end full stack engineers. It's just harnessing and polishing up that technique. polishing that technique. And that's what I've been doing for maybe about a long time. Come here. There you go. I've been doing that for a long time, and over time it's just get easier and easier and easier, and you just look out for different technologies that arise. So just like speaking of new technology, I just looked it up for the Drupal React, and I'm researching the Drupal React right now because that might be something that'd be a driver for this, because I like it where if I was to have a client, I want them to be self-sufficient on their own, and the only thing I handle is customization or troubleshooting the server or something like that. But if they want to put new content out there, they can go out and put new content out there without me. And it makes the design and it makes the product solid, and it makes it where they actually have something that it can be reusable, it can be rebranded easily using templates and stuff like that. So that's all I have. I'm not going to ramble on anymore. I just wanted to show some of the end product that we are making progress. And I might make some, I want to make some videos on breaking some of this stuff down. Not all the way through the site, but just showing some different techniques that I've used that helped me out a lot. So take care.